Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a bonus video. We're gonna have one more review video later today. We're gonna review all the cards for all the other classes revealed so far, but I want to make this video to go over the Death Knight class, how exactly it works, because there are some different mechanics with the class we have not seen before that I want to try and explain so you're ready to go when it goes live on December 6th, but we'll get the prologue and all that stuff. But I want you guys to know, as well as review every Death Knight card revealed so far, and you're going to want to stay tuned because it's a new class, meaning these ratings are going to be horribly wrong, almost certainly, and should lead to some like clippable moments later. But also you can take a look at what these new cards are going to look like, and you can predict on how good, bad they'll be, or how excited you are for them and all of that. And I'll give all the details on like all the cards, the amount of cards coming, and also the paid content that will be surrounding the Death Knight class. So before we get into all of that though, I do have our giveaway going on. It's in the video in the description below, the one I'm looking at right now. All you have to do is like and comment on that video, be subscribed to the channel, and you have a chance of winning 1 mega bundle out of my pocket, 2 regular pre-orders out of my pocket, and for every 1,000 subs we hit until the expansion cards are all revealed, so I believe late November, I will add another mega bundle. So there's no limit. Hit that sub button. You can make me go broke. So yes, the Death Knight, the 11th class, is coming to Hearthstone, and I want to go over 2 of the main things that are being added. First is pretty simple. It is the hero power. So yes, the Death Knight class is coming, and before we get into like the hero power and also the core mechanics of the class and then reviewing the cards, I want to go over the actual content coming for Death Knights. There will be 66 total cards for the Death Knight class, 32 of which will be in the core set, so those should all be free. 26 will be expansion cards, so you gotta get expansion packs for that, and 10 cards coming from its own bundle. That bundle is the Path of Arthas set, which comes with the mega bundle pre-order. It will launch live with the expansion, and it will cost either 2,000 gold, so it's like a mini set. You can get it for 2,000 gold or 1,500 runestones, everybody's favorite fake currency. So yes, Hearthstone is getting more expensive, and we'll have to see if we get some more rewards to make up for this, but that's for a video for another day. Death Knight hero power is pretty simple. It's 2 mana. It gives you a 1/1. It has charge, and it dies at the end of turn. It is an undead itself, and well, it fuels the class mechanic of corpses, which as you can see, its counter goes up, which will fill your corpse meter, which you can eventually use. This will be filled every single time a friendly minion dies throughout the game. There's also a new deck building strategy of runes. There's blood runes, there's frost runes, as well as unholy runes. Basically, you'll be able to decide before you build your deck which runes you want in there. You can have 3 of one color, you can have 1 of each, 2 of one, and 1 of the other, and basically based on cards that share these images, you can either be able to put them in your deck or not. Basically, if a card has 3 blood runes on it, you'll have to have 3 blood runes at the top of your deck to enable that, and you won't be able to run any frost cards or any unholy cards. I will link this deep dive below. It explains things a bit more in detail as well. Let's hop into it. Let's take a look at the cards and see how horribly wrong I'll get them. Starting off, we have the Gnome Muncher. It's a 6 mana 5/6 undead minion. As you see, it has 1 red rune here. That means your deck has to have at least 1 at the top, so that's important to note for all these type of cards. That's how it works. So you have to have 1 blood rune in your deck at all times, so it'll really make things interesting. Anyway, 6 mana 5/6 undead. It has taunt and lifesteal. At the end of your turn, attack the lowest health enemy. That can be anything. That can go face. Seems like a decent card. It's got lifesteal. You guaranteed to get at least an attack with it. Get some healing. This effect traditionally it's pretty slow for 6 mana. Not sure how viable it'll be, but it's an undead. It's got lifesteal, and well, it's a new card, so it's probably pretty busted. And yes, I will rate them for standard and wild. This is going to be hopeless. They're going to be horribly wrong, but it feels like a middle of the road card to me in either format, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 in both standard and wild. We have Obliterate here, a 2 mana epic spell, very similar to the old Death Knight card. Destroy a minion, your hero takes damage equal to its health. It's the exact same as the old Lich King card. I said they didn't need to change it, but they did change it with one thing. You have to have 1 blood rune in your deck structure, so you can't just throw it into every deck. You have to have at least 1 of these up, and well, this card's good. It's solid removal, takes some self-damaging and all of that, but if you got a Gnome Muncher going to heal you up, might not be so bad, but it's hard removal, and I think it'll see play. I'm gonna put No Muncher down to a 2, and I'm gonna put Obliterate at a 3 out of 5 in Standard Wild. I think it's more reasonable. And then we have the legendary Undead Minion Patchwork. Again, 1 Blood Rune here, 7 mana 4/6 Undead, Battle Cry. Destroy a random minion in your opponent's hand, deck, and battlefield. That is disgusting. That is some disruption. I'm assuming it's going to work like a Mutinous where it just kills it in your hand. It won't be a valid card anymore, and it could hit a combo piece in your deck as well. This kills 3 minions for 1, and it's disruption, and it's solid. It doesn't have an effect on its body. It's not a taunt. It doesn't get bigger like a Mutinous or anything, but you couple it with a Bran, you can destroy 6 minions, which is pretty darn good, I think. It hits the board state too. If they only have 1 minion on the board, one big thing, it'll hit that. So it'll be at random, but I think this card's very good. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 in Standard and Wild because, I mean, this effect has always been good, and it's 3 different minions, and it can just do things that are just gonna make people very upset. We have Blood Boil. Oh, everything's gonna make my blood boil, and you'll see how it has 2 red runes, so you have to have 2 of those at the top now. Can't just have 1. So if you want to run this, it takes a little bit more of deck building. It's a 5 mana shadow spell, Lifesteal. Infect all enemy minions. At the end of your turns, they take 2 damage. So this will damage them. You'll get Lifesteal, and they will stay infected. There'll be no way to remove this unless you silence your minion. I assume silencing your minion should take that away, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but it's an AoE effect that heals you a bunch. Like if this hits a full board of minions, that's 14 healing and removing. This is just really solid, and well, you're gonna want to run 2 blood runes for it. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 in Standard and Wild, and you give this to a Warlock with like Damsman and stuff. Oh my goodness. Although I wonder how that'll work with like burgled cards. If you can even play it, it'll be weird. I'm assuming once it's in your deck, it's legal, and if they steal it from you, it's legal. But yeah, with the whole stealing mechanic, that could be a little bit interesting. So yeah, Blood Boil 4 out of 5 Standard Wild. Corpse Explosion, again, 2 blood runes here, 5 mana shadow spell, Detonate a Corpse, deal 1 damage. All minions, if any are alive, repeat this. So this is like another Defile style effect that can keep killing. Corpse is basically your graveyard of minions you've killed. So that's, again, we talked about that earlier, and again, I think it's a solid effect. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 in Standard Wild. Kind of cool to watch you like blow up corpses over corpses to basically keep killing stuff. It's pretty unique, pretty crazy. These cards are definitely out there. We have Vampiric Blood. This requires 3 blood runes, so you can't run anything else other than the blood cards, blood rune cards. 2 mana rare spell, give your hero +5 health. So that's on top of stuff. So if you're at 30, you go to 35. So you can go above 30 health, again, without even Renathal here, right? If you spend 3 corpses, so 3 friendly minions have died, and you still have them banked in your graveyard, you spend them, and you gain 5 more health. So +10 health. It's Renathal without the Renathal, and then you also draw a card on top of that. So yeah, really good card. You're gonna want to play, if this like whole style works, this is insane. You're gonna want it early, but yeah, 40 health, we know how good that is, plus cycle. I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 Standard Wild. I'm not gonna give it a 5 because I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, pretty crazy, and Renathal's got some company. And hell, you can run 2 of these so you can get +10 health twice and go to 50. Oh my god, that's actually disgusting. We've got Defrost, 2 mana frost spell. So this is the, the ice runes here, right? You need 1 for each of these cards. It's 2 mana, draw a card. That's not amazing, but you spend 2 corpses. So 2 friendly minions have died. You draw another 2 mana, draw 2. That's historically been very good. It's conditional, but we'll likely see play in certain decks. 3 out of 5 in Standard Wild. Again, we don't even have all the cards. Like this is tricky. All right. We have Acolyte of Death, 3 mana, 3/4 Spider Tank. Of course, got those stats. Again, requires the 1 rune, and after a friendly undead dies, draw a card. Works with your hero power. That's an undead that dies right away. You draw a card, seems decent. Chain it with other undeads dying. If you have that effect going quite a bit, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 as well in Standard Wild. We have Glacial Advance, 3 mana frost spell, deal 4 damage. Your next spell this turn costs 2 less. So for 3 mana, it's basically 1 mana. If you play another spell this turn, it costs 2 less. That effect's typically been pretty good, and this is is 4 damage that can straight up go face. That's a decent amount of damage. Can scale with spell damage if that's a thing with deathlights and all of that. But overall, these type of cards have always been good, and it seems pretty flexible. I'm gonna give this a 4 to 5 in standard and wild. The Overseer Frigidara, 6 mana, 5/6. This requires 2 ice runes. Battlecry, draw 2 spells, so you draw 2. If they're both frost spells, deal 2 damage to all enemies. So that's like a consecration style effect. That is pretty good. You're drawing 2 cards and you're getting them in your hand and you're getting an AoE. You could couple with Brand. You can always say Brand and draw 4 spells, but you gotta be playing frost spells. So that's pretty decent, and you can couple it with this. Horn of Winter. It's a 0 mana frost spell, refresh 2 mana crystals. This is Lightning Bloom without the overload. So you get the 2 crystals back, and that's free mana. That's broken. That's always really good. That's a 5 out of 5 in standard WoW. I've never seen this effect not be broken, and it's a collectible card. This isn't generated. It's a 5-star card to me, and yeah, free mana, I'll take it any day. I didn't rate Overseer. I think it's decent. I'll give it a 4 to 5 in standard and wild. Frostworm's Fury, 7 mana frost spell. It's an epic. Again, you have to run 3 of the ice runes, deal 5 damage, so not great, but you freeze all enemy minions. You summon a 5/5 Frostworm. It's like a Snowfall Guardian that can go face and freezes all enemy minions, not your own. Pretty decent. It's a spell that you can, stall technique for these, looks like more control-y style ice decks, frost decks. So I'll give it 3 out of 5. A little less exciting than the other cards, but we know this effect can be great. You got board presence, a freeze, and some damage. Seems pretty good. 3 out of 5 in standard and wild. We have the Graveyard Shift, and now we're into the Unholy cards. So these all require 1 rune. Summon 2 1/1 zombies with Reborn. Reborn means it comes back to health with 1 health. So it's a good way to fuel your corpses and all of that, and you just get some tokens on the board. Not great, not amazing, but I'll give it a 2 out of 5 in standard wild. We have Plague Strike, 2 mana shadow spell, deal 3 damage to a minion. If that kills it, summon a 2/2 zombie with Rush. This is just solid, dealing 3 damage to a minion, likely gonna kill something, and you get a 2/2 zombie with Rush, and again, you're pumping the corpses stuff. I think this archetype is gonna be more about that, and yeah, that's pretty solid. I'll give this a 4 to 5 in standard wild. By the way, I should just say in standard wild forever. I'm just not gonna rate them separately, because how the hell do you evaluate it? Anyways, Dark Transformation, 2 mana shadow spell, transform an undead into a 4/5 undead monstrosity with Rush. So any undead minion on the board, that should be, if your opponent has an undead as well, that's the tribe, it'll turn to 4/5 monstrosity with Rush. It's a transform effect. You can use it to buff like just a 1/1 zombie, something like that. Decent. I could see it seeing play. I will also give this a 3 out of 5 in standard and wild. We have the Army of the Dead, 5 mana shadow spell. These require 2 of those unholy runes. You raise up to 5 corpses as 2/2 risen ghouls with Rush. So if you've had 5 minions die and they're in your pool, you can raise 5 of them and get 10/10 worth of stats on the board with Rush. So you want to be fueling all of this to get that going. Seems decent, not amazing, but decent. 3 out of 5 in standard and wild. We have the Battlefield Necromancer, 2 mana 2/3. We got River Croc stats. We have the Spider Tank. We got River Croc. 2 mana 2/3. At the end of your turn, raise a corpse as a 1/2 risen with Taunt. So as long as you have a corpse going, you get another 1/2 with Taunt. It keeps coming in. It's Goldshire Footman being resurrected. Not amazing. It's a bit of a token builder though, and things die and they get put back into the corpse pool. Not super exciting. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in standard wild though, because again, it's an effect that just keeps going and it can protect itself. We have the legendary Lord Marogar, 8 mana 9/7 undead. You need 3 unholy runes to put this in your deck. Battlecry, you raise all of your corpses as 1/1 risen golems with Rush. For each one that can't fit, give +2/+2. So if you have like 20 die in the game, you're going to be getting an absurd amount of stats, and they all have Rush. It's all proactive. So this is an incredible payoff to that strategy where you just get a huge board bomb, and well, you're just fueling everything with it. Doesn't seem like the game winning style card, but it seems like an insane stat bomb that I'm gonna give a 4 to 5 in standard wild, and I'm just excited to see what these cards look like in action. And lastly, we have the cards that don't require anything. You can play these with whatever runes, 0 runes, doesn't matter. We have a 1 mana 1/2 undead. Battlecry, give a friendly undead +2 attack. So yeah, you have an undead on the board, gets +2 attack. It's like an abusive sergeant. It's a permanent buff though, not this turn. It's whatever. I think it's a 2 out of 5 in standard wild. Not a terrible card. Probably not going to really make things move too much. And we have the Icy Touch, 1 mana frost spell, deal 2 damage to an enemy. period, enemy can go face and freeze it. And yeah, that's really solid. You can neutralize anything. This effect has always been pretty good. It's Frost Shock, Power Crept from Shaman. How dare you? How absolutely dare you? And I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It's still not like an amazing card, but it's pretty good. 3 out of 5 in Stare Wild. So that's all the cards I've seen so far. We'll have one more card review later today, so tune in for that. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.